It feels good. I thought that was a great win for. I was just really proud of our players and our assistant coaches. That's a really talented, good football team that we beat on the road. So it was a real team victory. Thought the offense started the game off executing really well, went up and down the field, really only punted once the first half. Thought the defense played awesome in the second half, shutting them out. Austin makes a 50-yard field goal. So it was kind of all three phases of the game contributed, and it was just a great win. And now we just got to get better this week and go try to get the next one.
Now that you guys are right on the cusp of bowl eligibility, does it make it even more important to kind of stress the one-track mindset and keep you guys focused this week?
No question. I think that's something we've really tried to work hard on always here. Is each week's a new week, and you earn the right to win on Saturday by how well you practice during the week, and it's the process and the preparation and getting ready to play, and the way we've done things is the way we'll always do them, and it's just a lot easier for everybody to believe in it now.
With 3 games to win one and get it bowl eligible, maybe it's a bit of a stretch, but does this kind of feel like being up 3-1 in the finals or the World Series or anything like that?
No, I don't know if it's. I think it's more of, let's just go out and do everything we possibly can to win this week. And I think last week that's how we went about it last week, and try not to talk about that with the players and try not to have them think about that. Let's just try to, I kind of said to them, it's a 1-game championship each week. Let's just try to, each single week is a championship game, and let's not regret anything that we do during the week. Let's prepare the very best we can and make sure that we're as ready as we possibly can to play the game, mentally, physically, emotionally, everything about it, and just try to have ourselves be ready to play the best we can play each week.
So many sacks and tackles for loss, especially the second half. What was working defensively?
I think it starts with the guys up front. I think Twaney's doing a great job up front. Glenn does a good job. Him and Double A do a good job rotating and holding that gap. And Akeem's playing awesome. That's pretty evident for everybody to see. Kalen's doing a good job. So I think it starts with those guys up front. I think our 3 linebackers are playing really well. They're good football players. So it just starts with the front 7 guys, and they're all doing a great job. And guys are just flying around and playing hard and doing what they're coached.
As part of the defensive success, but maybe being able to install more of what Coach Bresky wants to do this year in the second year, you can get them installed more and more each year?
I think that's part of it. But I think a big part of it is, them understanding, what the coaches expect, and then just guys just becoming better players, between recruiting and the guys that are here just getting bigger and stronger and playing faster, and then everybody just playing together as a group. And then just really, I think each year you're with that group of players, he understands what they do better too, and I think it helps him on game planning and what they can do well, and how we can put them in the best positions to have success.
How much of the defensive success can be attributed to Austin pinning up and continuing to pin the teams down back inside the 20?
Oh, I think that's big. I think any time field position for both sides of the ball it plays a huge role in your success. So I think Austin being able to pin him back there is really big for the defense, and he's a big part of the defense's success, no question. He's a big part of the offense's success too when he can make a 50-yard field goal. So he plays a big role in both sides of the ball.
Were you pretty heavily involved in Akeem's recruitment from Mississippi?
Yeah, I mean it was kind of a team recruiting, to be honest with you. It was myself and Coach Holmes, and then Coach Bresky got involved also. So I think all 3 of us were involved in it a lot. Me and Coach Holmes went in the home together. I went in the home with him, in Hattiesburg, where he's originally from, with his parents. And but Coach Bresky went down to the junior college. Coach Holmes went there, and it was just kind of a team effort that came right down to the wire, And that was one of those that are tough to get, but it was obviously a great get.
That's obviously a JUCO powerhouse that it came from. Is that a school that you've been recruiting
Yeah, I actually became friends with the head coach, Buddy, when I was an assistant at Southern Miss. He was at, I can't remember if it was Pearl River or if it was Joan. I think it was Pearl River, one of the junior colleges right outside of Hattiesburg. And he used to come up and meet with me quite a bit, and we talk offense. And then when I was at Louisville and Arkansas, I always stayed in touch with him. So, and then Trickett, that's our quarterback coach, I tried to recruit him out of high school, so I'm good friends with him, and he helped us also in the process.
Have you had a chance to watch the Netflix show that
I haven't. I've heard everybody talk about it. But I have not seen it yet.
Specifically with Austin, becoming so automatic with field goals there. What is? I was looking at his stats. The first couple of years, his accuracy wasn't nearly what it is the last couple of years. But is it just him getting, maturing as a field goal kicker, or what? Or is it different?
I think it was a lot of work. I think he put a ton of time. Obviously he's been a great punter all 4 years. He put a lot of time into just work. I just think a lot of it's been hard work on his part and putting the time in. And Coach Sinkovich is probably the only O-line coach in the world that also works with the kickers. So I think it's just been a lot of hard work, and he's made himself better. Which is a huge credit to him. It's just been the getting the routine down and really believing in it and putting in the hours of work, and he's just made himself that.
Did you kind of see him becoming a kicker like that when you were in his first years? Also, you're such a great punter, but
Yeah, we've just been really lucky to have him. Having a guy that can do all three things is big. It's going to be awful sad when we don't have him. But he just, his accuracy and his confidence was probably down a little bit early on with the field goal kicking, but the more and more that he's done it, and he's kind of clutch right now. So hopefully we just keep that going.
what about Buck and his holding for him?
Yeah, I said that to the team the other day. Sometimes you take for granted Brett and Buck, the snapper and the holder. So they've all been together now for a long time, and we're going to lose all three of them at the end of next year. So you're going to have to get a new snapper, holder, and kicker. So you can't. That's Trent does a great job of holding, Brett does a great job of snapping, and all three of them together has been very very clutch.
With Austin, do you remember someone who was so good at both at the same time?
Not
Who's
really.
the most puncher and a kicker that you've seen?
No, the only guy I can even think of at all was a guy named Micah Knorr. Was our kicker at Utah State and always did both, and then went on and punted for about 4 years in the NFL. But he didn't do both for us. He just kicked. You always saw him doing it in practice, but we had another guy that actually punted for us in the game. So someone that's done all of them, no, I haven't.
You guys gotta find a way to get Isaiah's family down to San Marcos.
Yeah, hopefully they get there. That really, that was he's played well all year, and a lot of times that's what we tell those three guys. You're all going to get touches early in the game, and then whoever's running the hardest and breaking the most tackles, that's who's going to get the most touches in the second half, and that was him.
Was he really part of the game plan going in, or was it more of just kind of the feed the studs thing, where you go in and he has the hot hand?
It was feed the studs, but he had a great week of practice. 2 weeks. We had those 2 weeks preparing, and we really challenged all the backs, and I think they all improved through the 2 weeks of practice, but you definitely saw him step it up and run harder, and he probably ran the hardest in the Appalachian State game too. That's why he got more carries in the second half in that game too. So I think he's gradually been coming along and improving, and did a great job. He had that one he caught in the flat, made one guy miss, and then ran over the other guy to get the first down. That was as big a play as there was in the game.
What do you see out of Texas State? It's a new coach, same quarterback that you guys have seen for quite a while.
Yeah.
Pretty similar still.
Schematically, they're a little bit different, but I think it all starts with stopping that quarterback. He's a very tough kid, very competitive. I have a lot of respect for him. I think I've seen him take some big hits and just get right back up and keep competing and keep playing hard. And he's a heck of a player, and I think it all starts with stopping him defensively. And then offensively, they do a lot of things on defense. They really try to confuse you and bring different looks and run a lot of different coverages. So we got to do a great job preparation-wise this week. I have a lot of respect for their head coach. I think he does a heck of a job of coaching. Kind of all the way back to when I went with John L. to Louisville in 1998. He had been the coordinator of the year, defense coordinator before that. So just kind of always followed him, and he's a great coach. So it'll be a lot of competition. It'll be fun. Go down there and compete and do everything we can to find a way to win it in the fourth quarter again.
It seems like they don't have a lot of sacks, and they're also giving up quite a few this year. Do you really think this is a week where you can have that banner on both sides of the line?
Hopefully, I think, Coach Sink's done a great job with our offensive line. I think they keep improving every week. For us to go to Lafayette, not give up a sack, and run the ball and hold the ball. We held on to the ball for 10 minutes in the fourth quarter, and that's the way you win games. And did all that without Jordan Rose. So that
Whitey came in last week and spoke to the team. What was his message to your guys? Was that pretty inspiring to hear?
it was awesome. He came in, and it was really a great message, because what hit me the most, what hopefully hit all our players the most, is how proud he was to have his degree. And we really brought him in to get everybody fired up and talk about how great it was to play in a bowl game and how, inspire them all about that. And he did that. But what really struck me, and what he did an unbelievable great job of, and I was so happy to hear it myself and have our players hear it, is just how proud he was to be a Vandal, how proud he was to have that degree, and how important that was to have a guy that's had the success he's had and play as long as he's played in the NFL, just to go on and on about his degree was a great message for our players.